It's good to be back here, live from the bedroom because Amanda is in the living room and she wants to lay on the couch. Welcome to the award-winning podcast here. I am your recently married award-winning host, Robbie Wright. We got an electric show lined up for you guys here. Yeah, I haven't really done any of these in a while. Yeah, I've been kind of busy. Yeah, I still don't give a fuck. I haven't done one of these in a while. Fact of the matter is, I'm a busy man. Between getting married and everything that goes along with it here. Fantasy football has kind of been on the back burner a little bit, but we are sponsored today by My Future Winnings here. I got a nice little future bet. You see that? You see that on my Boston Red Sox here. I am a huge baseball guy. If they win, I'm going to be very happy. So if you see me not really kind of dozing off in this interview here, it's because I have the baseball game on in the background. And could not name you more than one Red Sox, but a huge baseball guy. So, and they're winning 1-0. Let's fucking go. Cool. All right, sports. All right, so we're gonna do this a little bit differently here. We have two electric interviews lined up here. We got Dustin Briggs, Larry's son. He is not in this league at all, but he is the recent MVP of Team Monkey Bar in the Slapshot Cup, and he'll be able to provide a little bit of light on a very controversial event that took place by one of our league members here. For those of you guys who are not familiar in the league, there's a number of us who play beer league hockey for the best team to come out of Western PA. Team Monkey Bar. In the league, the league members, the people who play on this team include myself whenever I'm home, Mike, Trevor, Ben, Jimbo, pulling it up here. No, I'm forgetting something. Darawanko. Enough leagues here. Who am I forgetting? Placey when he was here. Bonesaw when he was here. Jordan had a cup of coffee with them. So pretty much everyone is familiar with Team Monkey Bar here. And I'm going to set the stage here on what went down here in Johnstown. And I'm then going to, after I do these two interviews, if those of you guys want to continue to listen to the fantasy football podcast part, by all means continue. This may go a little longer. If not, and you just don't really care enough but want to listen to what these two guys have to say, by all means just turn this podcast off at the end. So I'll try to hit a little bit of both here. I know a lot of you guys who do watch it, you don't even really look at my face. You just have this on your phone while driving, which is a smart way to do it. That's what I usually do. So I'm going to pull up a video here. This happened on Saturday night and Michael probably set the stage a little bit here, but he was asked to announce at some point during the tournament because of his great performance he did, highly intoxicated the year before. And he chose to announce the Team Monkey Bar game. He then proceeded to pull this stunt when telling people to get ready for stand for the national anthem. Keep in mind, this is a beer league hockey game, a random ass game where there's no national anthems at all in the United States of America in Johnstown, friggin' Pennsylvania. So that's the conclusion of it. He then proceeded to not sing the national anthem at all. And rednecks out of Johnstown, Pennsylvania were not too happy about that, which he will get into details with you guys afterwards. So I'm going to get Dustin and Mike on the phone here. And once those two interviews conclude, then I will get into the fantasy football part of this. Okay, so I'm going to... I have two phones here. I'm going to get Mike on the phone first with my work phone. I'm going to get both these guys on speaker so they can kind of talk to each other too.
Hello, this is Mike.
And we would like to welcome to the award-winning podcast making another debut here, Mr. Michael Madden. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, Rob. I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
No problem here. I'm going to, if you just hold a minute here, I'm going to get your teammate Dustin Briggs, Larry's son, on the phone as well.
Excellent. I haven't talked to him since the tournament.
Yeah, I know it's probably you guys probably been wondering what's going on in both your lives.
Yeah, it'll be good to catch up with.
Absolutely.
I'll let you focus and dial. Hello.
We would like to welcome to the award-winning podcast Larry's son, Mr. Dustin Briggs. Dustin, how are you doing this evening?
Thank you very much. I'm doing quite well. How about you?
I'm doing great. We got Mike here on the phone. Mike, say hi.
Hey, Dust. How are you? I was telling Robbie I haven't talked to you since we won the tournament how long ago, so it's good to finally catch up with you.
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, it's been such a whirlwind of interviews and just so much press and stuff. It's been crazy.
I know. It's funny. I never thought a tournament in Johnstown would change our lives, but here we are.
Yeah, it's been quite the weekend, and things have never really calmed down since then.
That's what we want to hear. So take me through. I want to start Friday night and at a convenience store named Sheetz in Johnstown. Take me through exactly what went down while getting your 2 a.m. Drunken food. Mike, you want to go, and then, or actually, let's have Dustin go since he was recording it, and then Mike, you can kind of fill in any last details.
Yeah, I would say Dustin. He was on the scene with the phone. I think he should maybe go first, and then I'll give you my perspective.
That's literally what I just said.
Yep, sounds good. I guess I agree with you then.
Well, I mean, like any typical night in Johnstown, after being at Scott's for a couple hours, my memory is a bit foggy. But I recall us first trying to make it to Sheetz was quite the debacle. This parking lot next to the Sheetz, I'm not really sure who owns it. I think it might be Satan himself. They put some kind of black fencing around the parking lot, which is never there. And it took us a good 20 minutes to realize that we were in a trap and that we had to get out of it somehow. There were talks of trying to climb over the fence for a while, but it was raining, it was slick, it was dangerous, and the top of the fence had spikes that were sharper than a fucking katana. So somebody finally mustered the courage to go over the thing. I don't know if it was Manetta or Steve Derwonko first, but they led the charge, and then we all followed except for Mike. He was the smart one who walked around. He wasn't going to risk having a spike impale his ass before the big tournament started.
Not Friday night. There was too much hockey to be played.
Exactly right. I mean, we all felt that something big was coming the weekend. We couldn't have this fence, in the way of that. So. Nevertheless, we ended up making it into the finer establishments in Johnstown, the Sheetz there.
You there, Dust?
Oh, no.
Well, Hey, we'd like to welcome back to the award-winning podcast, fresh off getting disconnected, Mr. Dustin Briggs. Dustin, take it away.
Yeah, I think we had some technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Go ahead.
But I think what was the last thing you heard me say?
That you just entered Sheets.
Okay, yeah. So we entered that 5-star restaurant, and the only thing I remember was standing by the the screens where you order your food, and there was just some beer-bellied gentleman standing by the pickup counter, just taunting all the fine Johnstown citizens standing waiting for their food. And so when I started recording it, I got the tail end of what he was saying, but he was just ripping on millennials. He was, oh, you fucking millennials, blah, blah, blah. And unless I missed it, I don't think anybody said anything to him to provoke him. He was just ripping on the young people there. And he walked away, and a cop followed him, and next thing you know, they zip-tied him, they tagged him and bagged him, and out he went.
And Mike, your angle to this, because seeing Dustin's Snapchat, I just see some guy in the corner getting arrested. You're not really paying that much attention to it. You're concentrating way more on getting your MTO versus this guy 6 feet away from you at 2:30 in the morning getting arrested, which I'm sure is something you see every single day. So I just want to hear your version of this.
Yeah, as Dustin mentioned, I kind of outsmarted everyone with the whole fence issue. So I was kind of riding high. I was kind of in the zone. And it was a little bit of misinformation. My MTO was already ordered. I was actually paying for it. Just kind of the guy that I am. When I buy food, I want to pay for it. And I was giving the clerk at the front counter my full attention. But I have to admit, I did have to look to my right every once in a while because it escalated pretty quickly. The cop went from asking the guy to leave to, as Dustin said, like kind of forcefully, like throwing him against the counter. Now, I'm no law expert. I didn't go to law school, but I feel like there had to be some type of like previous incident. I feel like they kind of knew each other. I assume he's kind of like the town bum, or probably one of many actually. But that's my kind of perception, was that there was a history between these two, and it was just another chapter in their story together.
It was just another Friday night, probably, of this guy.
Yeah, if someone told me this happened every Friday, I think I'd actually believe that.
I believe that. So fast forward to the Saturday here. You just concluded your game. You guys are miraculously 1-0. It seems to happen it's clockworks every single year. We start 1-0. People start contemplating, do we try? Do we not try? If we do try, how hard do we try in the third game? Do we even show up? There's a lot of strategy going ahead and going forward here. Mike, who comes up to you and starts pitching the announcing idea?
Right. Yeah. So like you said, actually, I feel like the audience should know too. Our game Saturday morning was at 8 a.m. I think. Now keep in mind, we're hopping fences at probably 2. People are getting bagged at 3. I would say I think everybody got probably 4 hours of sleep, if not less. And thanks to the Blairs, Chad and Breen, we won the game Saturday morning. And so I had one of the co-organizers of the tournament ask for me by name. I was still in the shower, so I had to meet him out in the lobby. And he asked if I would do a little announcing. I had some previous experience last year at Johnstown, and I think that I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Luckily, I get to play hockey a lot throughout the year, and luckily, again, about the same 5 people score all of our goals, so I thought the team would be all right without me. And I said, yeah, I'll take that opportunity, and kind of just started brainstorming on how to make it special for the fans.
It's kind of funny you say that, because Amanda said, she kind of rubbed it in my face a little bit. Oh, they won without you. I was like, I would have made the exact same impact watching it through FaceTime than I would actually being on the ice.
Yeah, it's amazing. No, it's amazing, and no disrespect to Dustin, because now he's in that group too, but it just I would say about 20% of the team scores our goals. The rest are there for morale and locker room hijinks and keeping certain bars and restaurants open in Johnstown for the tournament. But I think everyone knows the role there, and I certainly know mine.
Yeah, I think all our roles have kind of drastically shifted over the last couple years here, and I've had to take a back seat a little bit with kind of just understanding I peaked a while ago, and I'm not going to get any better. So my priorities, and this is where we're all kind of all over the place here, and I'm sure Jimbo will have a completely different answer than mine. Is I just literally just enjoy having fun, and if we win, it's a bonus.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
I've gotten pretty good at not getting good at hockey and just having fun with it, so I am primed for it every year in Johnstown. It's a great time.
So, all right, so take me through Saturday afternoon. You know you're announcing here, and there's a little. What game are you announcing, Mike?
This is game 2. This is Saturday night prime time. Not the time we didn't realize this, but this was our future competition in the championship game. And, I could go into a lot of detail. I'm going to try to keep it brief here. But eventually Steve and I started tailgating, and then the rest of the boys followed, made it to Scott's by Dam. I don't think anyone stopped drinking for hours at a time. I did get some food at Scott's by Dam. I'm going to be sharp for the performance. Anyways, I maintained conversation with the team, and I was always present. But a little part of me in the back of my mind was always kind of coming up with some ideas of what I could do again to make things special Saturday night. I kept telling everyone I'd sing the national anthem. I never specified which country. So anyways, fast forward. I take a little bottle of Four Roses, that's bourbon for everybody, onto the ice, walk over, introduce myself to the crew, let them know I'll be doing the announcing. Everything seemed cool. I throw on a little bit of Mariah Carey Christmas music for the warm-ups. I think everybody's feeling it.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It was. I thought it was a pleasant surprise. Everyone always likes that song. Anyway, so
and Mike, also, if you don't mind, if I interject real quick, keep in mind that so obviously last year, the tournament you were there. Robbie and Mike, Steve and Mike were too drunk to play in the second game. So Steve, he just snoozed in his bed. And Mike, he took it upon himself to take over the microphone. It was a big hit. Everyone loved it. It was great. Nobody had an issue with it. And I think the tournament people caught wind of it, and they thought it was a real good idea. So about a month ago, or about a month or so before the tournament started, the Slapshot Cup tournament posted I posted on Facebook asking for volunteers, to do that again because Mike spawned a great idea for the tournament. And of course, a bunch of people, tagged Mike and his name in the post, and he said, "Oh, I'll do it." So just keep that in mind. Like the tournament wanted people to volunteer to do this.
That's actually a really good point. I was asked my name. This wasn't something that I was, forcing upon anyone. I think I did a good job last year, and I think I'd be lying if I said I wanted to top it. This year I had some big plans in mind. So, anyways, I thought of something easy going for the warm ups. Everyone loved it. Now, this is one thing started getting a little bit weird. Was the warm ups are over, and as we all know, in these high profile tournaments, you go straight from warm ups to drop of the puck. There's really nothing in between.
There's never. I want to just really elaborate on that. There's never anything in between, especially on just a random ass. Every team plays 3 games, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did you guys have the national anthem for your championship game?
No, we did not.
Okay, so I have not had, and I kind of stopped playing like competitive hockey after high school. I have not had the national anthem. I think I've maybe over under have had the national anthem performed 8 times. Because I didn't play high school. So the fact that there was a national anthem for a beer league game should have been just a giant red flag. But
exactly. And keep in mind, there's about a 3-second window between end of warm-ups and the drop of the puck. I had to time it right.
And also something to point out is that which tournaments never usually have this happen. We were ahead of schedule.
Ooh, yeah, that's true too. There's just a lot of factors. Like, there was a lot of finesse I had to kind of throw out there to make this happen. So I got the referee's attention and told him that we'll be singing the national anthem. And again, keep in mind, I never specified what country. But so he goes, "All right, bud." So I took the mic out and I Googled "O Canada" lyrics. I thought I knew the lyrics, and I think I still do, but I wanted to have a backup plan.
So
anyways,
are you?
I just asked everyone to line up on the blue line.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to make this legit. This isn't no joke. Well, it was, but I asked for everyone to stand, remove their hats, turn their attention to the flags above the scoreboard, and I just started letting it rip. And and I will say, here's a little bit of kind of behind the scenes footage here. I picked the Canadian national anthem because it's a lot shorter than the U.S. national anthem. I think I would have had to really kill it if I was singing our country's national anthem, so I want the shorter one. Now, keep in mind, I've been drinking for probably 7 hours consecutively at this point, and as of now, I probably could sing the national anthem, but when the bright lights are on, I was looking at my phone. Well, the phone went dark, and that kind of rattled me for a second. If you watch the video, you can hear me kind of tell everyone to hold on as I bring the screen back up. Luckily,
I played it.
I have no passcode on my phone, which made it easier. So anyway, I felt it out, and I think I sung it perfectly, and I was happy. So anyways, that was it. So I walked back to the box, or so I thought at least. I don't know, Dustin, you want to give maybe a player's perspective on just how amped the rink was? I couldn't hear it because I had my mic in, but maybe you can tell us how it was.
I couldn't hear you. You started to fade out a little bit. What did you say?
You want to tell us how amped everyone was on the bench after the national anthem? Because I couldn't tell.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yes, I mean, even the skating and warm-ups, it felt like we were skating at the Bell Center. There was Mariah Carey, Christmas music playing. Of course, the carryover tradition. We started Columbus. We had the no Bucky warming.
You guys
beautiful. The flow was flying.
Yeah.
So as soon as Mike starts, belting out, flexing the pipes, but we're loving it. Like, of course, most of us are on the bench. Some of us are on the blue line. And we're just enjoying it. And looking over at the other team, they were not humored at all. They're all at their bench. They're all like pissed, like you could tell, and you could just tell there's tension in the place. And I was thrown off. Like I thought for sure like some of their guys would be laughing or whatever, but that wasn't the case. Yeah. But we were loose. We thought it was funny. It felt great. So then the game gets starting, and because we're all pumped up by Mike's song, we take an early lead, and which leads one of their players to skate as Mike is making his monkey sounds and announcing the goal. One of their players skates over to the box that he's in and slams his stick off the glass and says, "Shut the fuck up!" at the top of his lungs.
Yeah, so as Dustin said, I think we played the wrong team for this little stunt I pulled, because I think 90% of the teams in Johnstown would have found this to be fun and not taking it seriously at all, and just kind of embrace what was going on. But we drew the short straw with this one because, as Dustin said, straight from the get-go, I had players during whistles come up to me and tell me to shut the fuck up, and then it gets worse. And I'm going to try to keep this brief here, but I'm doing my announcing, and I see a pretty burly gentleman walk over from the stands, big beard, tucked in polo shirt, just kind of looks like a unit, and he comes over to me and tells me that I pissed everybody off, and I thought he was joking at first, and kind of asked him to explain what he meant by that. Keep in mind, I'm holding a glass of whiskey at this moment, and he goes, what were you thinking singing the Canadian national anthem, not the U.S. national anthem? And I said I wasn't thinking, but I also didn't think it would be a big deal. I thought people kind of would be able to sense that this was just all for fun and not serious. I wasn't disrespecting our country. Well, he didn't buy that. He was unhappy, and so then he had to tell me how unhappy he was. While he's telling me how unhappy he is, there's two blonde women walking over to me. And as I explained earlier to other people, they were holding plastic red Solo cups. So I knew we were gonna have some issues here. And they come over to me and they tell me that everyone hates me. Literally, that's a quote. And that I need to stop immediately. So at this point, I'm almost thinking, I guess they're right. I guess everyone does hate me because everyone who's sitting there watching the game has come over to tell me how much they hate me. And for 1 second, I actually stared at both of them, the women, just kind of blank, because I thought to myself, I can't believe this is happening, and just couldn't believe how much anger I created in a beer league hockey game that nobody cares about besides the two teams playing. So I don't know. Long story short is by singing the national anthem poorly in front of a recreational hockey team, I made a lot of people mad, and they kind of let me know about it. So if there's one thing I'd say about Johnstown is they're not shy to tell you how they feel about stuff.
Yeah, and that's something I learned the hard way too last year with my concussion. So, yeah. So fast forward to Sunday here, where you guys are playing this exact same team in the championship game. Did this get brought up at all at any point in the game?
I didn't hear about it, but I will say there's a little foreshadowing. Dustin kind of one thing that I think that adds to the lore of his game-winning goal here is in the locker room. He was already mentioning how if he scored, he would salute the crowd as like a patriotic act. And well, I don't want to ruin anything, but Dust, you can maybe take it from here as to kind of how we got to where we did late in the game on Sunday.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier, in terms of you win the first game, but then you have to decide whether or not you want to take it serious or have fun the rest of the tournament. Well, I think that Saturday night, whenever Mike had his beautiful performance and they were so pissed off, that's the moment I knew right there that I wanted to win that fucking tournament. And of course, I want to have fun. Of course, we still puked off the bridge Saturday night, and we ran Scots like we usually do. At that point, I knew I wanted to win that thing, to show those motherfuckers up. So come Saturday night, or Sunday night rather, it's a big showdown us versus the fucking cretins from Cambria County, and so it actually the unsung hero of the game was Carmen, because he was in town for the tournament. He skated out, and our goalie tore his groin to shreds on the first game Sunday, and he could barely move. So we had Carmen. He stepped up big. He played goal for us. His first time maybe in 13 years. I don't know, but so Sunday the game starts. Of course, they have one of their buddies on the microphone, and he's having fun. He's like making jokes about other players.
Oh yeah.
And being an asshole, I was just yelling stuff like, that's not fair to us. Like, say something funny about us. Blah blah blah.
They returned fire for sure.
What's that?
It's they returned fire with the they brought their own announcer to kind of make a point about it.
That is ridiculous.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and they had all like their friends and family and stuff in the stands, and they're having a great time, hooting, hollering, chirping us and everything. So the game goes on, and it's back and forth. They score one, we score one. They take the lead, we take the lead, and then come the third period, we're losing 5-3. And before the third period started, I said, "Hey guys, we didn't." It was one of my kind of like Larry Briggs, breakthrough. Braveheart speech moments where I said, "Hey, we didn't fuck around for 5 hours on a Sunday in Johnstown, eating apple logs and shooting pool and throwing darts to lose to these pricks. So let's not lose to these assholes." So the third period goes on. We rally back. We tie the game, and I'm not sure how much time was left. There might have been about maybe a minute and a half.
It was under a minute.
It was how much?
It was a little under a minute, I believe.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, so the clock's ticking. The puck's in our zone. It goes up to their defenseman, and I just circle out towards him, not thinking he'd shoot it right into my leg. That's like the asshole he was. He did. And it hit off my shin pad, went forward, and I had the breakaway. And I think the goalie, his mom must have been smirking a lot when she was pregnant with him, because he just slid the complete wrong way. And I just buried it. Some other fine gentleman gave me the slash of his lifetime on my thigh to try to prevent me from scoring, but that didn't work out too well. Yeah, so it was in. I turned around, I took the glove off, and that as an ode, it's one of my favorites, and also as a little symbolism for what Mike did the previous night before. I took the glove off and I gave a salute, and that was it. That's all she wrote.
The rest is history, and you guys are champions. So, I mean,
yeah. I'll tell you what, I want to interject here from a view from the bench, because of course I was on it. I have never felt like Monkey Bar has cared or celebrated more than when Dustin scored. Like, as he said, between the bullshit Saturday, waiting around for 6 hours to play the championship game, Carmen stepping in like a hero, and just the back and forth game, and then coming back from 3 at that point, like, everybody on the bench just really got up about it. It was really fun, and it was... honestly, I said to Dust and the people there, it was probably like the biggest win in Monkey Bar history, which I know we're still talking about beer league hockey in Pittsburgh, but regardless, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun, and I was like genuinely happy for Dustin because he kind of called a shot with doing the salute earlier, and then ended up doing it, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I cannot. It's literally like what movies are made of.
Right. Yeah.
The good guys win.
Yeah, for sure.
The best part of the story is that between the people at Scotts by Dam, the people who run the Slapshot tournament, Sherry, Cole, and her son Zach, we had so many fans in Johnstown. I think we were so genuinely liked, but there's just one team that hated us, and they just became the villain, or I guess we became the villain, and then eventually became the heroes too. But there was literally one team that didn't like us, and we couldn't get rid of them, and it just made for some great drama down at Johnstown this year.
That's incredible. So, all right. So I have a few questions I'm gonna ask you guys here, and Dustin, this is something I do. I'll text a few guys so I know you in the league. It's called anonymous questions, and they come up with questions. You don't know who asked it, and have a little bit of fun here. And I'm gonna go back and forth between you and Mike because I got a couple questions for him too. Dustin, first question: will JS Della Fuckface be getting a goalie cut jersey made for Monkey Bar's third jersey?
I would have to think so. Yeah. I mean, he came up big this year for us. There was a couple games where our starter Smarshy couldn't make it, so Fuckface had to play. Unfortunately, he didn't have our equipment guy couldn't get his jersey made in time, so he had to wear Hickeys. All the Hickeys is a little big for the goalie pads. So we'll see.
That's awesome, Mike. Nicole's reaction to your Canadian at the national anthem performance.
I think mostly embarrassed. I think partially impressed that I have that much, I don't know, kind of like weird confidence to do it, but mostly embarrassed for sure.
Dustin, what is the best and worst part about being Larry's son?
Oh man, the best part is just to sit back and just to watch all the madness unfold. It's I mean, it's almost like being Jesus, like knowing that like your dad's God, Although that didn't really end too well for him, but just I guess the notoriety maybe as well. But on the flip side, the worst part, aside from like the big expectations of the film, which include like I remember thinking when I was in high school, like fuck, I have to get suspended for fighting at least one time because he had 12 suspensions for fighting in high school. So I came up short there. So I guess there's like the big shoes to fill.
No, there's high expectations there for sure.
Yeah.
Mike, how pissed were you that Team Monkey Bar made the championship Sunday night?
So before the game, or I should say before we played, I part of me did think about heading out again. I wasn't as sick as I was last year. Actually, I kind of felt pretty good. I'd say I drank slightly more responsibly this year. But I still, part of me just didn't want to wait 6 hours for anything, let alone a hockey game in Johnstown. But I'll tell you what, after, that was one of the best decisions I ever made, was sticking around. It was definitely a lot of fun. That was such a cool moment. And really glad I did.
Okay, Dustin, why do you wear purple spandex pants under your hockey gear?
Well, the pants, they're actually women's Star Wars, I guess, spandex athletic pants. I was at Kohl's with my fiance about a year or so ago, and I happened to come across them in the clearance section, and I thought, wow, I got to have these. I actually ran a color run with them last year, too, so yeah, they've had some good experiences with me.
Damn. Mike, which do you prefer, date night with Nicole or Sunday fun day with the boys?
Did she ask this?
What's up?
Did she ask this?
No.
Okay. Poor Mike, he's gonna get all for the hard question.
I enjoy Sunday fun day with Nicole.
Get the fuck out of
here.
I know. This question's for both of you. If Stephen Hawking played football, what would he be like?
Good question. I believe in including everybody in the fun of our hockey team, but I think that's a special joke that should exist at our dinner table on Sunday between me, Dustin, and Carmen. I think Carmen knows what our answer would be.
All right. Mike, who is most likely to not be let back into the United States at your bachelor party?
Ooh, I would say you. If you drink enough Saturday night, just because of your mouth, I would say Hickey if he says the N word, and I would possibly say. I think Stevie just would get lost and like.
Thank you. I was so stunned how I was the first person who came to.
No. Here's the thing: you and Hickey would be a result of your actions, like because someone would determine that for you. I think Steve would just get lost and then just never come back. Like I just don't think he would make the effort to ever return.
Where the fuck am I?
Exactly. He'd end up in I don't know, Saskatoon or something.
Dustin, this is your final question. At what age did you stop looking up to Corey?
So what age did I stop looking up to Corey?
Yeah.
You know what? He and I have had a rocky relationship, especially when we were young. But you know what? I guess I haven't stopped because every year when we're in Johnstown, he just throws up off that bridge, and it's something I really look up to. It's something I aspire to be. So yeah, sorry to disappoint. I guess I'm still looking up to him.
It's a professional answer. All right, guys. So that's all the questions I have for both of you here. We are at the 37-minute mark. I already made a little disclaimer. If you guys don't give a fuck about this, fast forward to this mark. If you guys do, you get a double dose of this and fantasy football talk. So this will be at the very beginning of the award-winning podcast.
All right, Robbie, I feel like I should say one more thing, two more things actually. Going back to the question about Sunday Funday or Nicole, my favorite day of the week is Sunday. You can read between the lines. And second is happy birthday, Jeff Gooch.
Oh, happy birthday, Jeff Gooch, yes.
Who the fuck is Jeff Gooch?
Trevor's cousin. He was he was at my wedding too. But Dustin, any final words?
Yeah, again, thanks for having me on. It was a blast. I have one question for you, though, Robbie. Do you plan on being part of the back-to-back tournament year team next year in Johnstown?
I will be there 100%.
Thank God.
I think I had like 32 weddings this year. I'm slightly exaggerated,
right.
And I have another one this weekend too. So it's just wedding after wedding after wedding. But it dies down significantly after next May. So yeah, I will be there 100%.
Okay, perfect. Because I have a feeling that they're probably going to have a couple of surprises in store for us. So I guess we'll see if we're prepared for it.
Stay tuned for Slapshot Cup 2019. Gentlemen, I would like to thank both you guys for coming on the award-winning podcast here, and best of luck here the rest of the Monkey Bar way in 2018.
All right, thank you. We appreciate it.
See you guys.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, make a mental note here. 39 minutes here. I'd like to thank both our guests here for jumping on. I know this is a fantasy football podcast, but what went down on this past weekend is something that was pretty remarkable here. All right, the fantasy football part here. So, I'm going to bust out the scores here. I'm going to start with the standings because, and one thing I know I touched on this earlier today in our group chat here, and we had a little bit of noise as well with implementing that one rule with trading draft picks. Just to clarify, we're not doing that this year. We're not going to implement a rule such as one like that at the midway part of the year. We will vote upon it next year, and if the majority is in favor of it, we will go ahead and do it here. I know Jeff mentioned that there is a way to trade draft picks. I'm not entirely familiar with it, but I will be, and if this is something that gets passed, then we will make it work. So it's fair and we're not keeping track on pen and paper who traded what. So yeah, but the only way though that is we will vote on it is if we have the exact same 12 guys next year. I do think that we have a crew. I think we have a steady crew now of people that are just not going anywhere. But shit, you never know. So look at the standings here. We have. I'm gonna just jump on this right now. You look at we're gonna go from the bottom up, and our good pal Jared Cunning, who asked for Facebook advice at week 2 and week 3 and week 1 and week 4 on who to start to random strangers. I don't think they're giving you the best advice, Jared. But the fact that he is 0-7 is pretty impressive here. The fact that, and he's putting up points for the most part. It's not like he's pretty average team, but still his record should not be 0-7, but that is pretty tough to do. So I mentioned this earlier, but the top 4 teams record-wise will make the postseason. If there's a 4 and a 5 seed or 4, 5, 6 that have the exact same record, by then it'll go by most points scored out of those teams, and then 5 and 6 will be most points scored. Throw away the record. So the one nice thing is it gives everyone a fighting chance come the end of the season here. So if you're in Jared's spot and you're 0-7, he's at the middle of the pack still with scoring points, so he is not mathematically out for the most part. So also with the trade deadline, because of that rule, everyone can trade leading up to the trade deadline. For playoffs, and the reason I'm going over this now is I cannot guarantee you I will do another one of these podcasts here. I'd like to, but I'd like to do at least 1 or 2 more, but I doubt it'll be a weekly thing like what it used to be in the past. Just with how I've been this past year, I'm kind of already in the hole here with the award-winning podcast. Not one of my better performances once again, but so for the teams that do not make the playoffs, the 7 through 12 teams, out of those 6 teams, whoever scores the most amount of points in that 3-week period makes it. If you have the most, you get the first pick. If you have the least, you have the 6th pick in the draft. So it doesn't go by that little playoff bracket. Just throw that out the window. Just keep setting your lineup and putting up points. And then the 7 through 12 seeds will go by how you finish in the playoffs. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, Jared is a dead last. Matter's 1-6. Looking at the 9 and 10 here, or tied for 9th, we got Mike and Casey at 2 and 5. In 7th and 8th place, we got Bonesaw and Darwanko at 3 and 4. Jimbo is 4 and 3 in 6th place. I am tied with Carmen and Jordan and for 3rd place, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And the cousins, Trevor and Jeff, we learned who the fuck Jeff Gooch is a little bit ago here when Dustin asked that question. And Placey are both 6 and 1. So looking at the people that have been putting up the most points, the cousins should be in 1st place because they have put up the most. Placey has put up the 2nd most. Jordan's put up the 3rd most. So it's pretty consistent going down the line here. The teams that a couple of guys like Bonesaw, for example, who's currently on the outside looking in according to the standings, would mathematically make the playoffs right now because he has 910 points. So something to play for here. Looking at these past week's scores here, I'll start with mine. Placey snapped my winning streak here, and I'll be honest here. Like I don't spend as much time on looking at fantasy football as I used to here. So that was really the first time I checked the standings. So I knew that Jared was the only person that I would kind of take notes of and how the record was Jared, because let's be real, it's kind of funny watching him do bad whenever he trades a million guys every year, and has really taken a backseat with doing that this year. So we love to cheer against them, but in the past it has worked. This year it's kind of backfiring, so it's pretty comical. Looking at my performance at Placey here, it came down to Monday Night Football, and I pretty much needed Saquon Barkley to break his leg to have any chance. I would not wish that upon Saquon, so I will take that L all day, every day. Placey improved to 6-1. He beat me by a score of 143.6 to 119.9. Really, I got screwed with Gronk not playing, and I did not realize T.Y. Hilton was not in the lineup here. I gotta be better. Didn't really do half bad with that, but literally everyone for Placey, some of his heavy hitters just showed up. So congrats to Placey, improving to 6-1. Let him know is now 5-2. Next matchup here, the Cousins took down Matter by a score of 120.4 to 112.5. The Cousins have Todd Gurley. Kind of don't really have to elaborate on that. He has been a beast all year. He was the first pick, I believe, in the draft, and thank God, because Le'Veon Bell, we all know how that's going right now. Look at Matter. Literally what screwed him is LaShawn McCoy got hurt, and he rushed for 1 yard. That doesn't happen. There might have been an upset in the league, so congrats to the Cousins, improving to 6-1, while Matter drops to 1-6. Look at the next EF rivalry matchup here. Or no, excuse me, not EF. Jordan did not get EF. This is former roommates then. Jordan versus Casey. Jordan, who has been doing pretty well here, is won by a score of 144 to 96.7. I don't even know who does Jordan have here. Matt Ryan's been solid. Sony Michelle, he got hurt. But yeah, Johnston's been solid for Detroit. Michael Thomas. So and yeah. Trey Burton's been good. Hunt's been so Jordan has a pretty solid team here. Casey just didn't really get. I mean, other than Houston's defense here, whenever you're not putting up 100 points in a PPR league, it's tough to win. So congrats to Jordan. Proves to 5-2. While Casey drops to 2-5. Look at the next matchup here. Derwonko versus Mike. This was a friendship rivalry game here, a Johnstown game. And the Booze Hounds, symbolic for Derwonko's team name, won by a score of 114.3 to 93.1. And pretty impressive win for Derwonko when Ezekiel Elliott gets you 6.2 points. And Buffalo gets you -2. Manuel Sanders has been great. Zach Ertz is always solid. Brandon Cook's been having a great year. So, whereas Mike, I mean, when you're starting Jamal Charles and Frank Gore at running back, this is kind of what you're going to get. This is the result you're probably going to get. Patrick Mahomes literally got him a third of his points. So, nice job drafting Patrick Mahomes, but there is, that's the depth here. I mean, granted, Freeman got hurt, and Marshawn Lynch was on a bye, so that explains that the running back by committee there. Move on to the next matchup here. The top point getter and the unsung hero of the Johnstown weekend, Carmen Fortunato, took down Bonesaw by a score of 147.9 to 114.6. Looking at the matchup here. Let's see here for Carmen. Everyone showed up, but Hooper. Kirk Cousins did a Kirk Cousins performance here. Dion Lewis had himself a day. Kenyon Drake did. Keenan Allen was okay. Alshon Jeffrey, yep. We're Washington defense getting you 15 points. Good start there. Whereas Team Bonesaw, I mean, not a terrible performance. Probably went a little bit more out of Philadelphia defense. But congrats to Carmen here. He improves the champ, improves to 5-2, while Bonesaw drops to 3-4. And the next matchup here, Dumpster Fire loses once again to Juju is always lit, Mr. Jim Stanish, by a score of 140.1 to 125. I don't know who these guys have. I would assume Jimbo's Juju, but they were on bye week, so I assume he's on their bench. Yes, he does. Odell Beckham Jr. was the difference maker there on Monday Night Football here. That I'm sure I'm not a math guy, but based on the math here, I think Jared had to wish for Odell not to show up, and 1 week he actually did. He did. And the Rams defense got Jimbo 24 points, so that was literally the difference here in this game. So congrats to Jimbo, and what did he improve to? 4-3, while Dumpster Fire, Mr. Jared Cunning, drops to 0-7. So this is a long-ass episode here, and I think that interview took up roughly 70% of this podcast here. So we're going to wrap it up here. Any questions, concerns, reach out to me here about the league. We're coming right at the halfway point here, so it's going to get fun. I believe the trade deadline is right around Thanksgiving time. That's usually when it is every year, so take note of that. And best of luck next week and rest of the way here.